Welcome to Go Fund Yourself. Watch up-and-coming entrepreneurs step into the spotlight to pitch their businesses to you. This is not ordinary TV. Welcome to interactive TV. Like what you see? Scan the on-screen code with your mobile device to invest in any of these businesses right now, in real time. Like their products? Buy them in real time while you watch the show. Every week, we present new opportunities for you to consider. Every week, you decide whether to help make their dreams come true or tell them to go fund yourself. Now, meet the Titans, accomplished business leaders, visionaries, and experts ready to challenge every claim and every pitch as you analyze these opportunities. Introducing Rory Kataya. Jason Waller. And David Meltzer. This isn't just entertainment. This is opportunity. And you are in control. This is Go Fund Yourself.
President at Launch Boom, Will Ford, and best-selling author Dr. Lacey Book are joining our Titans and Andrew Kamal from Riemann Computing.
We want to utilize data compression to give everyone cost-effective internet. Riemann Computing has the potential to be extremely lucrative, but also impact a lot of people. Hi guys, my name is Andrew Kamal, and I'm the founder of Riemann Computing, and there's a quick little video I want to show you. We want to offer our data compression in order to compress network packets, meaning provide cheaper internet services, as well as offer data compression to various different data centers, computing companies, infrastructure companies.
It looks like the Chinese spy balloon.
That video was a video of an internet balloon. So we actually do direct-to-terminal gateways. And we utilized that internet balloon and a photon board as well as a photon thread board and a custom Linux board as well as our compute module to actually ping and extend the network.
Is this internet or?
So we do data compression and internet services.
Okay.
Are you guys pre-revenue or have you guys started selling product yet?
So right now we're trying to work with a country to provide internet services, and we're working on the letter of intent. And that would be a pilot for 150,000 users if that ends up coming in, and that would end up being $9.5 million a year in revenue. And we're trying to get a grant opportunity to do that, while at the same time trying to be able to get licensing in the United States to be able to offer internet services in the US. We're also trying to offer data compression and computing specifically for actually processing and storing the data in general.
Potential customer for your service or client for your service would be Amazon, as an example?
Amazon and AWS in the future would be able to utilize our data compression through an endpoint, and they would actually be able to compress the data. And we're trying to offer a scalable model where it's per gigabyte of data processed.
So AWS is obviously already compressing and using some of their own technology, perhaps some licensed technology to do that. Are you saying that your technology is better?
We have one of the highest, if not probably the highest data compression ratio in the world, and we created our own lossless data compression mechanism to do that.
That's off the chart.
So does this replace the RSA channel as far as a carrier goes? So 80% of America is covered by what's called regional service administrators. And this seems to me, if it extends out the normal coverage and it compresses data, that it would remove a need to have all those licenses for the RSA channel.
We're actually creating a method where we have our own compute modules and we're actually compressing the telemetry data in general, but we can also do this for streaming. We can do this for raw data format. There's an encoding and then there's a codecs, and we actually want to create our own file standard.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like, how does this impact somebody that's sitting and watching the show right now? What does it do for them?
We basically could have $5 a month internet plans in the
Lower
future.
your,
Okay,
lowers
so,
your monthly
so
plan.
your ability to compress data actually will help lower internet costs for the everyday person.
It will not just lower internet costs, it will lower the cost of storing data in general.
What you do today on your telephone will be better and cheaper.
How much money are you raising? And then what's your plan once you raise that
And
capital?
can he give you all of it? I think that's what he's
I think
basically
that's where he's
saying.
going.
Okay, so
want
we're
in.
trying to raise through equity crowdfunding $809,000, and it will actually go up to I think in the future 3.2 mil. And we're also trying to raise from institutional investors up to $20 million. And we want to actually, number one is we want to build like a mini lab and data center, and that's based off of trying to actually start providing internet services and building these devices. And number two, for our data compression method in general, I want to actually make it an ISO standard for its own file format.
Right.
Would a great customer be a data center? If we made introductions to data centers, is that attractive to you?
Yeah, a data center would definitely work.
Okay, so
I mean,
you must speak to me after we're done. I could make introductions to the owners of
Only
Data
after I get
centers
to
across the
invest.
country.
Only after I invest.
around the world, actually. Get David's money first, and then we'll.
I totally understand better internet and cheaper,
Yep.
so I'm in.
All right, so right now we're just
Nobody would say
accepting
no.
what you're saying as fact. What do you have that could prove it?
so on our website, we actually have the various data snippets, and that includes actually pinging in data through a cloud API, as well as the actual costs that we have. That includes like the data you have, but like, you know, zoomed over where you could actually see like the actual number of API pings, the actual latency for the data transmitted, and the cost. We also have SDK that's like a really, really like poor man's version of it that's open source that allows people to actually process data using grid compute, which is called the Decentralized Internet SDK. And you can actually process in that data at a much cheaper cost than already what's readily available. And that's not even talking about the commercial opportunity.
It's patented.
It is patented. This patent actually been cited by Red Hat.
Wow.
If you look at the actual data compression ratios in the world, the highest right now is Israel, and I think it's the Israeli Defense Forces. This beats it
Wow.
by probably well over 20x.
Amazing.
Amazing.
In layman's terms, for the people that are watching this, how did you come up with this?
I've been interested in this market for a while. I've started this company in 2018, and before that, up until like 2011, I was really interested in data compression, which is weird, but
Nothing's weird about you.
I was downloading something called the SETI at home, which I don't know if you remember, like a lot of those programs that had screensavers in the background that would actually process in like scientific computing and stuff like that. They have this algorithm that is able to look at verifiable computing. So every computational hash that ends up processing data is verified. And that made me curious about like how data is analyzed from a compression standpoint. And I noticed a lot of the ways that computers actually analyze data is very wasted. There's mixed hashes. They actually don't know in terms of the data structure where the best pinpoint is. And the reason this is called Riemann Computing is because it utilizes the Riemann zeta function in order to find actual corrupted data and make sure that you don't just recursively
of course.
process and
Thank you
analyze.
for describing that in layman's terms, but
I actually understood that. I thought that was okay.
No, I did
yeah.
understand. Yeah, me too.
I love it. Damn, I love it.
This is amazing.
no, I want to invest before he does anything as well. We got to keep the valuation low.
Yeah.
We don't like it. Let us invest
At
first.
least let the show air. Give people
So
a shot at this.
what happens to the big companies that offer, you know, data compression? Do they absorb a company like this?
So yeah, the main goal is eventually just make our own standards. So like file formats, sort of like what MPEG-4 was, but for all the various data types. And then if they become like an ISO file standard and the data compression is that good, it sort of hopefully in the future becomes a monopoly in the market.
You don't want to use that term.
Yeah, probably not a good term.
Regulators don't like that term.
It'll be very successful.
Not a monopoly, but something where you would have to have a better mathematical proof The other thing that's really interesting about this data compression, which I think is a very important point, is it doesn't just work on classical computing paradigms. It actually works on quantum computing as well. So,
I mean, Andrew, look.
Game over.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Standing ovation.
Andrew, literally of all the companies I've seen on this show, you are by far the most exciting investment opportunity I've seen.
Ultra low cost internet, next gen data compression, infrastructure as a service, and future codec development. That's what we've got here, baby. That's a home run.
Well done, my
Well
friend.
done.
Well done.
Good job. Good job.
the Titans resonated with the technology.
You can't tell, I really like you.
Thank you. Investing in Riemann Computing will have the opportunity to invest in a really promising company that wants to disrupt the computing industry.
That went from what the hell am I looking at to holy smokes, he's going to be the first trillionaire.
Jason, I thought he was flying a kite. And then he started talking about what he's really doing and blew my mind. And honestly, like this guy, he's onto something hot.
What an opportunity for us to be in the presence of genius like that so early on.
Do you think this is really going to resonate with them? Are they going to really understand the value proposition here?
Think about Apple in its first year. Imagine being able to buy stocks back then in Apple. They should buy some shares.
I don't ever think I've seen this panel this excited about any particular...
We had a standing ovation.
Yeah, I mean, Bamage.
Bamage. All day
Serious
Bamage,
Bamage, man, right?
Serious damage.
This
Yeah.
is a big deal.
Star of The Shaws of Sunset, Gigi, and best-selling author and CEO of Black Diamond Consulting, Dr. Sean Dill, will be our guest titans today as we welcome FEN-X's CEO and founder, Todd Cameron, and his team.
So FEN-X is a test strip designed to test your drugs before you ingest your drugs. Hi Titans, my name is Todd Cameron. I'm the CEO and founder of FEN-X, fentanyl test strips, test before you ingest, and I brought a couple of my partners with me.
This is Ron Green, I'm the Chief Operating Officer. And my name is Bryce, I am the Chief Technology Officer and Manufacturing Expert. I will be back when we do the testing.
Thank you, Bryce. So today we're experiencing the worst epidemic in modern day history. Fentanyl is poisoning our society and killing our children. My purpose and motivation for doing this as a father of 6 is to educate, demonstrate, and bring awareness to society. Specifically, there's an enormous void that we are experiencing with proper education and testing. 60 to 70% of all pills are counterfeit and contain fentanyl. One pill can kill. It's tragic. There's so many thousands of stories of kids dying. Approximately 2 years ago, 2 of my friends lost their sons in the same week. That was when I had an epiphany. What can I do? And how can I, with my crazy brain, make some impactful mission to develop a product that's accessible, affordable, and will save lives? And it's fentanyl, and we want to eradicate it. We want to exit out of society, and I came up with FEN-X. With your help, this is my mission.
Test kit.
It's a test.
That the average kid user can test whatever drugs he's been given to see if there's fentanyl in it. And he can get results right on the spot.
In 60 seconds or less.
That's amazing.
100,000 Americans overdose every year.
It's everywhere.
It's absolutely everywhere. We need this on the shelves of every store, every convenience store, every gas station.
There's no question about it. Why are whomever these manufacturers are putting fentanyl in otherwise illegal recreational drugs? Why fentanyl?
It's cheap to make.
They also put it in drinks. Like my daughter, she was at a friend's house, visiting a friend's house in North Carolina. And there were people there she didn't know, and somebody was making them drinks. It was the middle of the day, and she blacked out, foaming of the mouth, stopped breathing. They hit her with Narcan, she woke up. They did a test, and they said that it was fentanyl. And, it came from an alcoholic drink.
And it's not the kids, they don't want to take fentanyl, but the fentanyl's already infiltrated in all the street drugs.
So the only way that this makes any sense is if it's completely and totally infallible. Is it?
It's 99% effective, right? There's a 1% variance in just human error and or a false positive / negative, right? So we're not saying this is for sure 100%, nothing's 100% in life, right? But at the end of the day, if we can save one life, we've done our job. When 300 kids and adults are dying every single day in the United States because of fentanyl poisoning, something needs to be done.
I'll tell you something, I was 28 years old when I opened a sober living house. And that is coming from someone who also had issues with substance. And I then went to LMU after that, and I started studying the biological, sociological, and psychological aspects of addicts. I'm 43 years old now, but from 28 till now, it's a different world of what drugs were. And my friend's friend died last year of one line of Coke turned into his death because it was fentanyl. And it's scary. But my issue, if I were a user, I would be nervous to buy this in the store because that's like kind of just like putting a label on my head. Like I would be nervous to buy hemorrhoid cream, you know, at the store. I'd probably go on Amazon.
I buy that shit all the time, not good.
Would you guys be making deals, you know, with Amazon? So this is discretion for something like this. Even though the education should be out there, there's still a fear I don't want on my forehead, you know.
That's a good point, Jay.
It's a good point.
It'd be great if schools could just give it out to everybody in the class.
In Florida, they give out Narcan.
Narcan is $44.99. This is $2.99. Over the counter, right?
Yeah.
It's less than a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
This is just the start of a necessary product and a mission that needs to happen yesterday.
I think we're all on board with the mission, right? I mean,
It's an
clearly
amazing
there's
mission.
a need. Let's get to business fundamentals. What's going on with the company?
Yep. So you see it right here. We're a startup, right?
You haven't sold anything yet.
No, nothing at all.
Is there IP involved here, or anybody can just white label this?
Yeah, you can, but we're first to market, and that's what's nice. The branding, the marketing. I've done extensive research and surveys to really high-level PhDs, MBAs, and they've all vetted. They're like, Todd, this is something that is incredible and essential, right? And will save a tremendous amount of heartache, tragic losses of young lives, right?
One more thing before we see the test. Do you have legal counsel on this? Are there any legal implications?
Yeah.
If it's 99% effective, what about
0.9, right?
So it's all on the back of the strip, right? So we do say it's not 100%. It doesn't for sure advise the safety of the drug. So ultimately, if you are a hard drug user and you suspect that you are going to have fentanyl and whatever narcotics that you're using, yeah, by all means have Narcan on deck, just in case, right? Just in case you do overdose. But if we can price point something that's so super affordable, like, yeah, you're like, I get it. I don't want to go buy it. I'm embarrassed. Well, guys are embarrassed buying condoms, right? Girls are embarrassed buying tampons. Who cares? We're going to save your life, all right? Test it before you ingest it.
I was born to bleed as a woman.
Yes.
I wasn't born to do drugs.
Right.
I was an addict, and I'm telling you, discretion is a big thing. I had a sober living house. I know how the system works.
Right.
Number one thing is just discretion, anonymous. You know what I mean? I would see this thriving online.
Amazon, stuff like
Thriving
that.
online, yeah.
Could you test a drink?
Yeah, I mean, you can test anything, right?
Let's see the test. I think that's really the next piece of this.
Bryce is my main man. He's going to show you the testing process.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to demonstrate here using 2 mock substances. There's no fentanyl here, I can assure you. So we're going to pour a couple milliliters of water into each shot glass here. Then what you're going to do is use the micro scoop that comes with the test strip to scoop up a small amount of the substance. It's about 5 milligrams worth of substance, so people don't have to complain about wasting all their substance if that's an issue with them. So that's substance A, and this is substance B.
If you had a pill, would you open it up and dip the pill? Is that what you do?
In a perfect world, the person would take the entire substance, dissolve the entire thing in water and test it. Unfortunately, we live in the real world. Not everyone's willing to do that. So the
Could
best
they
option.
then drink it? Like if you have,
Yes, they can. So let's say if they want to consume a pill, what they can do is dissolve the entire pill in water, test the water, then drink it. The test strips are extremely sensitive. They can test down to about 1/10,000th of a lethal dose. So they're extremely sensitive. So you can use a 5 milligram scoop out of a gram bag and it will be sensitive enough to detect fentanyl in your substance.
Where I think is really useful, and there's a huge market and you don't have the embarrassment or whatever, is you have them at convenience stores to check your drink.
Drinks.
Then it's less embarrassing. You eliminate that.
And the bars will get behind it because their customers will be stoked.
It's just a thought.
Right.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to dip the test strip into the water for 15 seconds for each test strip, and it will render a result. Result typically takes about 30 seconds to a minute.
Nothing working Jägermeister? Just ask you for a friend.
Absolutely.
Yeah. The one on your right here came back as negative, and the one on your left here rendered a positive result.
Will it be effective at determining if my drink has been laced?
So we actually have drink spike technology that's being developed right now. We actually already have prototypes of it, working prototypes. There's actually a law in California now that requires all bars to carry drink spike tests, and we have one of the first best drink spike tests available.
That's where you got to start.
Yeah,
that's where you
That
got
was going to be my question is,
Wow,
why
that's
aren't you making the deals with the clubs, with those type of places? I'd be there marketing.
But ideally, where the real loss of life is fentanyl in the powders and the pills.
Exactly, yeah. Is this a little bit hard to stomach? Are people going to be a little bit uneasy with it? Sure. But are we going to continue to let 100,000 people a year die from fentanyl? It's killing more people than all the world wars that the United States has ever fought in combined over the last couple of years. So
at the end of the day, our full mission here is just to save lives, right? I want to make sure my kids are educated. I want to make sure your kids are educated, your kids are educated, your kids, all of our families, that it's wide and well known that this is the biggest problem in America today. We can make a big impact together. And who's on board with us?
I think we're all on board. Congratulations. This is something that's really interesting.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So we just got done with our pitch, and the Titans loved our mission, our product, and we're very excited to move forward and be an impact to our communities with our product, FEN-X.
Well, I mean, I love everything they're doing. Obviously, we all love the cause. We understand how important it is. I think somebody will get behind them after watching the show, but they've got to be able to, and I think they will be flexible of how they market it.
Gigi, you have your own perspective on this. What are your thoughts?
I mean, I would absolutely love to know that when my son is out there, going around places that have drugs, that he's carrying loads of these in his pocket.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point. All right, well, great contributions, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
To have that availability to potentially save a life and give that person another chance at sobriety.
Well, I think it's probably a great idea myself. I mean, I'm in recovery, and when I see how many people have long-term sobriety and they go out one time and die, I think that would be a great thing to help people stay safe.
So yeah, I do believe that it's a product that should be available to people. Definitely.
Even if I'm gonna take a 5-minute video here, I can't send it to my friend, or whatever the case is,
I mean, I struggle with that, having to do like large file transfers. So, I mean, for me, that sounds like, sign me up.
If you want to be safe out there, scan that code.
Scan the code.